But defense builds your confidence. Attacks make you dangerous. Counters make you scary. Because if you can make that guy hesitate, he stops making the right moves at the right time. Your life becomes a lot easier. So we're going to work on back control today. So some of the principles that he needs, all right? So back control, his knees are occupying this space between my armpits and my ankles. That's what makes this the dominant position, right? Similar to mount. Mount's the same thing, except facing the other way, right? His knees are occupying this space. Side control, he's got arm and body occupying this space. So he's winning this battle occupying this space. So number one, when I'm trying to defend my back, I don't want my shoulder blades connected to his chest, right? Because that means he's in a great position. He's got a freedom of both arms. He's got my hips locked, all right? And then it makes it hard for me to rotate, because if I'm stuck to him, when I turn, he goes with me, right? So the number one thing I want to do is get rid of underhooks so that I can now turn, all right? Now my back's not connected to his chest anymore, right? So any of these directions makes it so my back's not connected. But he gets this underhook and he holds me tight, and now when I turn, he goes with me. All right, so this is why I get rid of this first most of the time. But this is kind of reliant on me recognizing this early, right? So if I don't, we're gonna play with bow and arrow first. So if you don't recognize you're getting into back control and he starts to choke, right? Now it's way late, he's gonna start grabbing my leg. What I need to do is fight this elbow. This is the dangerous part. It's not his hands. If I start fighting his hands, his elbow moves behind me and I get choked, right? So first thing I wanna do, when I feel this, I wanna hunt for this elbow. So this is late. I didn't recognize what was happening to me. He's already set up the submission. So I wanna get this elbow, I wanna start pulling it up, and then I wanna walk away. So I'm just trying to clear my head under his elbow, right? So let's turn, yeah. So as he sets, I go for this elbow, right? And I pull up, and then I try to move my back away from his chest. And that's what gets my head free of this attack, right? And then I can turn down, I can come on top, all those things. But again, I was late. I'm not good enough to recognize long before it happens, so I gotta have a late defense. So again, he's setting this up. This is the first thing we're gonna play with. As he grabs this collar, we're not going for the hand. We're immediately grabbing at the elbow, and as he sits away, I'm getting my back away from his chest. And then we're out. So that's gonna be our first technique that we play with today. So grab partner, play with that one, and then we'll move up to the early end. So we're gonna show one more kind of late position. Save me some time, find me some time, 65. So as he's on my back, and again, this relies on the principle that I get my shoulder blades away from his chest, right? So when he's on my back, right? If he's in here, if I can get his leg, right? I'm just gonna anchor it, and I'm gonna put my elbow on the mat. And now I'm gonna start turning towards it and bring the other hand. So now, as he tries to choke, right? Go ahead and choke. He can't get the angle that he needs, right? Because if I get here, now all these chokes work well. So go ahead and choke right now. So if I get here, right, I start turning here and using the floor as my kind of wedge to prevent him from being able to get me back in this angle that he needs to choke. So here, right, I can start hanging on, and I'm just gonna keep turning until I can move my hips down and away, and I wanna get this elbow across his body. So as I'm working in here, right, I'm just moving away to create space here. And now I'm no longer in back control. So again, I'm gonna get to survival position, right? Hook, plant my elbow to kind of pin his leg, and then I'm gonna start turning by pulling it across my body. And now both hands are pulling his leg across my body. And so now I've got a T instead of my shoulder blades being pinned to his chest. And now just I can start scooting away, turning more, and then once I get enough space to get this elbow across, and now I'm working on passing position.
Can you do it on this side?
Yep.
Why don't you just move?
I don't want to crowd everybody else out.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Don't want to cross in front of the camera.
Right, so I screwed up a bunch, but I can still save it by pinning my hand to his elbow, to his knee with my elbow on the mat, and start turning through, right? But I gotta stay upright. If I fall over here, right, he's just gonna, so I gotta make sure I'm upright, turning away, keeping my back away from his chest. So from here, it's gonna keep turning towards him. I'm moving my hips away a little bit till I get enough space. Sneak my elbow through between us. All right, so play with that. So, he's on my back. What I prefer to do is to get rid of underhooks. All right, so as he's on my back, I screwed up here, right? What I want to do is get rid of this underhook, but I want to start putting pressure on his wrist to do so. So I'm actually going to fall to the choking side and start moving my head away from him, right? And again, a principle, I'm trying to get my shoulder blades away from his chest. So I'm moving down and away with my upper body going this way as I inch my back further and further away from him to break this grip. All right. So my goal is to put pressure on his wrist with my head and start pressing out that way. So again, as he's coming in, right, I'm just gonna do enough here to get my head down to his wrist, and then I'm gonna start walking away to break this grip. And now I'm gonna use this hand as a shield between us, right? Just working my way out. So as soon as I get space to get this arm under his underhook, now I'm going to use this arm as a frame and start working away from this frame.
This is all a way to clear the underhook.
Yeah.
It's because I've always been told, hey, shoulders to the mat, but really it should be thinking my elbow clearing his underhook,
And my shoulder blades away from his chest.
Okay.
Those two things combined. Okay. Yeah. So here, all right, it's going to get heavy. And now I'll start working my elbow inside. All right. And it doesn't matter if you fall to the underhook side, it's just going to be a slightly tougher battle. So if I fall to this side, I'm still doing the same thing, but now I'm trying to use my hands and my chest to work past his head and then down on the hands. Right. And again, now that I'm far enough away, this narrow side arm comes in as a frame to shield them away. And I just walk along the floor because it's safer than if I tried to jump out.
How do you get, like when he's got his head so close and I'm trying to get there, how do you get past his head? Sometimes they have their head there on the mat.
So come again. All right, so I'm just circling, right, away. So here, I'm turning my whole body away. And then I'm circling my hips towards as my head goes away.
And that's normally their more comfortable, like their power side, right? Like if you fall into the underhook side, you feel more comfortable.
Most of the modern people like that a lot better because it's easier to maintain the underhook than on the other side. When we were new, everybody, when we went on the strangle side, but modern jiu-jitsu has figured out that it's a lot easier to hold this, and then start climbing up the body than the choke side. So it's easier to maintain position when you take him to the underhook side. But we're gonna kill that.
Okay.
We're gonna make it no side is good for him.
Yeah.
So one more time. But again, easiest side to escape to is the choke side because I can get my head pressure on his wrist. Right?
I see. So if we had our preference, we want to go to the choke
Yeah.
side.
So if I let him start this choke, so go ahead and start choking. Right? Yeah. Go ahead, choke. So I'm just gonna start working my head out to make his grip have to fight my body weight. So, play with that. I gave earlier. We'll show you how to set up a knee bar from this escape.
So out of
Speaking my
those
language,
three,
Courtney.
out of those three escapes, when you just feel where the opponent is and determine which one's which?
Not necessarily. So the last one I showed, you can do at any point. The last two I showed, you can do at any point.
Yeah.
All right? Because they're both pretty late escapes.
Uh-huh.
The first one only works as he's coming across. Right?
Okay.
When he catches this, you gotta go immediately to the elbow. If you wait, then you're probably gonna be too late. But as you get better with it, you have more and more time to come in and get that elbow. But, so this position, if you get good at this escape and you turn your body enough, you get to a point where your hips are facing on top of his leg. All right, so as he's getting this choke attempt, as I start walking through, right, you see, I'm moving my head away, I'm sitting on his bottom leg, but now there's a leg there, right? Ooh. And then he's in choke. So you just walk your hips out and you just keep creating space until that leg comes free enough for you to catch. Yeah. So here, all right, I'll start walking away to get pressure on this wrist. And now as I come through, so one more time and I'll let y'all play with this for a little bit. And then we'll show one more, what I consider early defense. So again, all right, I'm fighting this to get my hips circling in, and then I'm gonna kick big circle with the top leg, pin, catch the heel, knee bar.
So
Okay, knee
unlike the
bar?
third one, you're not taking your hips out from the guy, you're keeping your hips into him.
Yeah, so the move is I'm circling my head away and my hips in. So that's how you should be thinking about this with the escape in general. But as you get comfortable with that, then you start seeing that now his leg's exposed. It's usually floating in the air beside you. And you get to grab it. Try that out. As this guy's taking my back, all right? So let's say I'm internal and I'm not doing everything correctly. So as he drags me over, all right, those look in, he drags me over. I should immediately be fighting these hands, right? So as he turns me over, I'm fighting his hands. All right, so once I get here, I clear him from both sides, and now I'm gonna lift my hips a little bit. Let's circle. So now that I'm inside, right? My elbows are inside. I'm putting pressure against his knees to get him out of this space. I'm just gonna lift my hips a little bit, right? To give my body less friction against the mat. And now I'm gonna start moving away. Because now he has no ability to stop me from rotating. That's the main reason I killed the underhooks, is I gained my ability to rotate again. Everything that he's doing in back control is designed to stop my ability to rotate, right? So come back in. So the hooks, right, are supposed to keep my hips. He's supposed to be able to follow my hips. And then the underhook, right, he's got control of his shoulder, his head pinching, right, so he prevents me from being able to turn freely, right? So I want to fight all these things, but getting rid of this underhook kills the most of them. So now, right, he can't stop my shoulders. Now my elbows against his knees and shins start kill these kill the feet hooks, right? And then as I move away, if I'm high, right? His head's on the side, right? As I move away, now his head disappears. So now he has nothing to stop my ability to rotate. So he's got nothing to hang on to. So once he loses that underhook, in reality, he's lost control completely. So again, so as he's collecting my back, I want to fight this underhook first, right? And then once I'm here, now he's got no control. He's behind me, but he doesn't have control. Boom.
Courtney, if he does double underhook, like the chest hug, is there any different variation you're doing to try? Could you still just try to swim one?
Yeah, I really screwed up, so I
Okay.
got to fight one at a time. So if somehow he got to my back in this position, right?
Yeah.
This is trouble. So I'm just gonna have to start fighting the hands, right? Start moving away to move my chest away from his back, because that takes away part of his control. And then I'm just gonna start trying to fight these hands. But yeah, if he, particularly with a gi on, that's a problem, because he's just gonna grab right at both collars, and he's gonna wait if he's good. But if he's not good, he's gonna rush and you're gonna get after him. But if he's good, he's gonna let you burn yourself out. It's not much hope, am I right?
So, when you're on all fours, same method occurs.
Yeah.
When you did the first demo.
So I'm on all fours. I'm putting my elbows inside my hips, right? And as he tries to throw hooks in, reach his hands in, I'm just fighting. You can put them out, right? So here, if he drags me over, anyway, right?
You just stay
You're
like
still
that.
light, no hooks, and you're ready to rotate.
Yeah. He's wasted energy, putting me in a better position.
So you would purposely just let him roll you if you could?
Not necessarily.
Uh,
No. So if he's
Yeah, just
if he's on my side, right? So if he's on my side, I'm gonna say, if he applies pressure, I'm just gonna kick through this space. Oh, my bad.
Was I supposed to do that?
No.
my bad.
If he falls over, you're good.
Okay, I
But
won't do that.
if he drapes the arm, right? He's applying pressure. I'm just getting control, right? Captain the flag. I'm getting this control,
Oh, I see.
and then I'm going back inside.
That's
So ideally, yeah, I'm not gonna let him drag me if I got a chance to get a dominant position, though.
You're gonna grab it?
Yeah, but
Okay.
if I get toppled over, close the doors, make sure nothing can stop me from spinning, and then hips away, turn in, wrestle them down.
Okay.
All right, play with that for a little bit, then we'll go situational.
Okay.